Hey, this is going to be a tutorial on how you can edit and or add to courses inside of Coach Grow Solutions. So when you log in on the left-hand side, you want to click memberships. This is the tab that houses all courses, whether it's a one-time sale, a payment plan, or if it's actually a membership where it's like a recurring fee. All of those portals that contain information are housed inside of the memberships tab. So once you click the tab, you will be brought to this dashboard page. I'm using our demo account, so there's not any numbers here. But if you have had people, enroll in your course, whether it was free or paid, it will show up here as well as the number of members and the number of checkouts within the last 30 days. This gives you a better idea of where you are with growing your course or growing your community. Okay. So I'm going to click on courses up here. That opens up a drop down menu. And then I'm going to go to products. And that is going to take me to all of my course products. And you see, we have a couple of test products here. Okay. So I'm just going to go into one of them. I'm going to go into Test Course 101. And we can see that there's some weeks already in here, but I'm going to show you how to add. Okay. So my suggestion is that whatever you are trying to map out as far as what your course is, or if you're trying to add to your course or reorganize your course in some way, then you want to map that out on a sheet of paper first and then come over to the system. Because if you write it down, you will have a much clearer picture of what you need to do when you get here in the system and you won't be as overwhelmed. Okay. So in the top, you're going to see where it says product structure. There's a plus button there, and that gives you the option to create a category. A category is most similar to what we would call a module. So I'm going to put in here pre-work module since we already have a welcome module. Every course doesn't have to have a pre-work module. It's not necessary. I just needed to put something in there. So now you see we have this module category. You can add as many modules as you want. It can be unlimited. It's whatever you want, right? There are no limits inside of Coach Grow Solutions for modules and lessons. Once you have your module there and you know what lessons you want inside that module, you can click the plus button next to the module itself, and you have three options: add a lesson, add a subcategory, or add an assessment. This is hard to see because I'm at the bottom of the screen. I'm just going to push this up here to the top. If you need to move things around, you can literally just click on those lines on over to the left hand side, these lines, like these lines, and you can move things around that way. Okay. So I'm going to click the plus button. Here we can see it better. Add a lesson, add a subcategory, add an assessment. A lesson would just be a regular lesson, right? So that would be what we consider like lesson 1.1 or whatever it may be, right? And there it is. You could also add a subcategory. So a subcategory is going to be a category below the module. So let's say, for example, if you were teaching somebody how to tie their shoes, your first module may be buying your first pair of sneakers. And then there may be, in buying your first pair of sneakers, there may be a subcategory on the types of shoelaces. And then there's lessons on the different types of shoelaces. There's skinny shoelaces, there's wide shoelaces, there are shoelaces that come in the box, there's light up shoelaces, all these kinds of things, right? You may also have another subcategory that's choosing the right sneaker for the level of support that your foot needs. So it's still under buying your first pair of sneakers, but it's an additional subcategory that you may want to separate out. So it's up to you the level of detail that you want to go into with subcategories. I don't tend to use subcategories because I pair most of my courses with live coaching, whether it's group coaching or one on one coaching. And so I don't have to go to that level of depth because I'm actually talking to my course students. And I do suggest that you do talk to your course students at least once a month, right? And so I don't normally use subcategories, but in some cases you may need subcategories. You can also add, and let me show you what subcategory looks like. Subcategory 1. So that subcategory looks like a folder. You see how it has like a folder icon? And you can actually take your lesson and you could drag it inside that subcategory if you want to. Okay. So we've got a subcategory, we've got a lesson. I'm going to hit this plus button one more time. We also have adding an assessment. So assessments are quizzes that are scored right or wrong. Okay. So I would recommend using assessments only if the information you're giving them, you want to test them on to make sure that they have a full understanding before moving on. Sometimes and it's pros and cons, so it's kind of up to you. I use this feature if I 100% need them to understand before they move to the next lesson. But sometimes I don't use this feature because it takes some time for people to really understand what it is that they're learning. And this is more so on the life coaching side. On the business side, I can give someone the definition for 5 different terms and then I can test them on it 30 minutes later and they have to get it right or else they can't move on. Versus if I'm teaching someone about forgiveness, I don't necessarily want to test them because they may actually need to take what they learned in that lesson and go out and use it in real life. And there's not really a right or wrong. It's more so about giving them the tools so that they can navigate their own life. So it's not like an assessment type scenario. So you get to decide if you want to use assessments or not, but you can name this. So we're going to name this quiz number 1. And this is going to be you could have 2 different things. You could have an assignment that could be homework, or you could also do a quiz. Okay. So you'll hit save and it pops up right there. All right. Now I'm going to go into the quiz because I want to show you a little bit more about this quiz feature. So here you have the option to put if this quiz requires a passing grade or not. What that means is that if they fail the quiz, they can't move on. So this is very much so a learning system. Like Coach Grow Solutions can be a very learning system if you're doing something like giving people certifications or giving them some type of certificate of completion at the end. You may, and you're doing quizzes, you may want to use this quiz requires a passing grade, and then you put whatever the passing grade is. Then you get to put the pass confirmation message and the fail confirmation message, which may be something like, if they passed, you may want it to say something like, "Hey, you passed, awesome job." Okay, so you could do that. Or if it's failed, it's, "Hey, unfortunately, it looks like you need a bit more work in this area." And of course, that's in my language. So a bit more is not really a real word, but you can kind of make it sound in your voice, however professional, however relaxed you want it to say. But I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, so that's going to save my quiz. Oh, well, let me save because we didn't add any questions yet. Okay, I'm going to remove this so we can see a little bit better. So when you're ready to add a question, you'll click add a question. Once that question is added, you will click on the question. You can do the drop down and decide whether you want it to be single choice or multiple choice. Remember, this is a quiz that is going to automatically grade them so that you don't have to come in and manually grade them. So there's no space for you to do like an open-ended answer, okay? If you are looking for them to do like open-ended answer, or if you want to give them like digital journal prompts or something along that lines, you're going to need to go over to sites and create a form that just has questions, and then you will link that form inside of your course so that they can answer open-ended questions. But this is for self-grading, okay? Self-paced, self-grading, it's automatic so that you don't have to log in and look at it. You could also do a combination of both if you want to. Like I said, it's up to you. And this is why I stressed write it down on paper first before you come in here, because there's so many options of what you could do. And there's so many options that Coach Grow Solutions has to help you really enhance the learning experience that I don't want you to get lost in all the options. Okay. So write it down first, but you can choose your questions. So I'm going to I'm going to do multiple choice, and I'm going to say, what is the best type of shoe for flat feet, right? If we're still going with the tire shit, then I can add my choices. So option 1 may be Converse, which is definitely not, if you know what Converse are. Then I'm going to add another choice, and that choice is going to be Nikes. Then I'm going to add another choice, and this choice is going to be Skechers. Okay, so you can add as many choices as you want. I'm going to select my correct option as Skechers. If you want to add an explanation, you can, because sometimes people want to know why they were wrong or why they were right. And so you can add an explanation, but it's up to you. Okay, so I've got my multiple choice in there. That question is done. Now I'm going to go to question number 2, and I'm going to show you single choice. So this is going to be, let's see. What type of sneakers were invented first? Now I'm going to add a choice. And single choice is normally for like true or false, okay? So let me change this question. Athletic sneakers were invented first. True. I'm going to add another choice. And I'm going to add false. I'm going to select the correct answer as true. I think that's right. Don't quote me. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay, so it gave me that confirmation. My quiz has been saved. If you want to preview what it looks like, you can hit the preview button and it'll take you over to a separate window where you can actually see what your quiz looks like. It's taking a little bit of time to load. But I would definitely say, just think about how you want your audience to learn, and that'll kind of give you a better idea of what to put in a quiz. So I'm going to click Start Quiz. You could also go to ChatGPT and put in, hey, I have a course about this, and my lesson is about this. Give me 5 quiz questions, and it will give you quiz questions, okay? So here's what your quiz will kind of look like. It looks like a real quiz, right? Now, of course, multiple choice, I can select multiple options versus single choice. I can only select single options, okay? And then they'll be able to hit submit. So that is how you can add to your course. Now I want to show you how you can delete things from your course and how you can change what is visible and what is not, okay? So you see everything here is in draft mode. Over here to the right, draft, draft, draft. When you're ready to publish your course, you hit publish. That means that that section of the course is now visible. You can still keep working on, like I can still keep working on the welcome module, week 1, week 2, all that kind of stuff. And my students can be working on this, right? If you want to drip your course content, meaning that you want people to enter and then every week, let's say if they enroll on a Sunday, every week a new piece of content unlocks on Sunday or a new module unlocks. You'll hit the drop down button and you'll click drip and you get to decide how many days. So for example, this is my welcome module. So I want them to have immediate access to this. So I'm just going to put 1 and I'm going to hit save. Okay. And this dripping the actual module is going to open up everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and hit publish right here. It doesn't mean they're going to be able to see it because the overall area is in drip. Okay. Then if I want week 1 to be dripped the next week, then I'll put 7 because that's 7 days after they enroll. That 7 means 7 days after they enroll, they'll get access to this. Then if I want week 2 to drip on week 2, then 14 days after they enroll, this section is going to unlock. So you can do it like that and have it unlock itself automatically. Or what you can do is you can just come in here and unlock it yourself. Like if it's, you can literally hit locked and, I'm sorry. You can hit draft on all of these and then set yourself an alarm to come in and hit publish on that week. So if it's too much, if it's too long to figure out the days, or if you're doing cohorts, like live style cohorts, then you won't be able to use that drip feature because people may register at different times, but then they're all starting at one time. So if everyone is registering at different times, so let's say, for example, it's October right now. If I have, people, I say, hey, registration is open all during the month of October. We start January 1st. I'm not going to use the drip because we don't start until January 1st. So I'm just going to let people register all October. And then January 1st, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click publish and they'll be able to see that module. Okay. So sometimes it's beneficial to come in and do it manually versus not manually. The other option you have is to lock. And locked means that they cannot unlock that section until they have completed the previous section. So I just click to lock the welcome module and I'm going to lock it based off of the quiz in the module before that. So quiz number 1 is, you see it's up here. It's the module before this one. And I'm going to select a pre-work module. So the quiz and pre-work module 1. So now it's locked. So this will unlock itself when they complete quiz number 1. So sometimes you want to use that like auto lock thing to make sure people aren't getting overwhelmed as well. Okay. So That is how you add. That is also how you change the visibility. If you need to delete, you hit that drop down. You hit the drop down and hold on. Hit the drop down and hit delete. You see that appeared? Delete. You cannot delete a module unless you deleted everything in the module first. So I'd have to delete this quiz, delete this lesson. Then I'll see the option to delete the subcategory. So let me show you. You got to delete everything backwards. Not backwards, but you have to delete in order. Okay, so everything in this subcategory is now deleted. So now I can delete this subcategory. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to hit delete category down here. Confirm. And it's deleting. So now I can go to the module and hit delete right there. Okay, sometimes it shows up in the drop down, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't show up in the drop down, then just click on the inside of it and you'll be able to delete it. But they make it hard for you to, not hard, but it's a longer process to delete because we don't want you deleting by accident. So that's why it's like sometimes it'll appear here, but sometimes it won't. So just go inside the module and delete. Be weary though, because if you delete something, there's no way for us to get it back. There's no way for tech support to get it back. And so that's why they kind of make it like a longer process to delete something versus how easy it is to just hit the plus button and add something. So just be careful there, okay? So we've got all our modules here. I'm going to show you the rest of these tabs up here as well. So inside of the details area, we have the title of the course. You can change the description. If you want to change the image that appears when someone sees the course, then you will upload that image here. If you want to go design your own in Canva, you can. The recommended dimensions are 1280 by 720. Then you also have the option to customize the layout of the course. So the way that your course is going to look when people come into it, you've got a couple of different layouts here. You can change the colors. You can put in your bio and all that good stuff. And you can preview and see what it looks like as well. Then you have offers. So what you're going to need to do for every payment option you have for your course, you need to create an offer. Okay. So you may have an offer for the full course that's $9.97, and then you may have a payment plan that's 3 payments of $3.97. That's a new offer. If you do a payment plan that's 2 payments, that's a new offer. If you do a sale, like if you want to do a sale off of one of the payment offers that are already there, so let's say you already have a $9.97 there, but for some type of holiday or celebration or whatever, you want to get 50% off, you can just go over to your payment section over here and create a coupon, and that coupon can be used on the course. But you will need to create separate offers for different payment options, payment plan options, okay? For all of your payment plan options, whatever payment processor you have hooked up, whether it be Stripe or PayPal, those 2 options, or Afterpay or whatever, those options will appear, so you don't have to worry about that. Then there's a comment section. So for every piece of content that you put into your course, there's automatically a comments box under so that people can ask questions. And you can see here when you click comments, you have the option to unhide it, like enable it, give people the option to actually comment. You can also lock it if you don't want any comments. And then you can see how many comments are here. So you can kind of see how people are interacting with your content. And then last but not least, we have certificates. So you can issue certificates to people who have completed your course. So in the certificates area, when you click there, you will click attach certificate and you will drop down to a certificate template. Now, we don't have one in here right now. This is a new feature. But there is an area inside of Coach Pro Solutions where you can create a certificate template and you can attach it to this course so that when people complete the course, they automatically receive the certificate. Okay. I'll do a separate video on that. But that covers the basis of how to add and edit your course and all of the different ways and different features that you have access to. All right, that is all for this video. I will see y'all next time.